everyone, and welcome to Weekend at Movies. I'm Donovan Taggart.
And I'm Amy Valentine. As Donovan said, this is Weekend at Movies, but what exactly is the show?
I'm glad you asked, Amy. So Weekend at Movies is a show about movies, obviously, but specifically it's about new releases and news that we find interesting or exciting within the entertainment industry. So the plan is, each week we go see a movie that is recently released in theaters, then we come here, we sit, we talk about it, we review it, and then we get into, news topics that are relevant to the week, to the news. So yeah, I think that should be it. Amy, do you want to introduce the movie we're talking about this week?
With pleasure. This week we're discussing the newest live-action remake from Disney, Snow White, starring Rachel Zegler as the titular Snow White and Gal Gadot as the subtly named Evil Queen. This is the latest entry in Disney's recent series of half live-action, half CGI remakes of their old animated films, alongside 2019's Lion King and 2023's The Little Mermaid, to name a few.
An illustrious cohort to be a part of. Now, before we get into our thoughts and opinions on the film, let's play a bit of the trailer for the audience.
When I was a little girl, my mother taught me how to whistle, because when you whistle, it's your heart singing. Whistle while you work. Catch that fairy tune.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest of them all?
Snow White. From Disney.
Find Snow White.
This could be so much fun.
I was thinking the same thing. I close my eyes.
On March 21st.
The girl I meant to be. Is she a
The magical
I had no
movie event arrives.
Point me in the right direction?
Disney's Snow White.
Great. So yeah, that's just a bit from the teaser trailer. So let's get into the movie. If you've seen the 1937 Snow White, you've seen this movie. The only portions they add to is like the ending and like a bit of the second act. So essentially follows the same rules. We got Snow White living in the castle after her mother and father die, and then the evil queen is jealous and has the huntsman try to kill her in the woods. That doesn't go very well. She escapes into the woods. She falls into the river. She washes up at the dwarf's house. She meets the dwarves. They connect. They grow as people. They sing some songs. They have a merry old time. And then in this version, we actually get a little more development of Jonathan and who is the prince in this. We get a little more development of Jonathan and their connection to actually give them a romance, as opposed to in the old version he just kind of appears at the beginning and the ending to kiss her awake. So they get a little more development. We get to meet the bandits who are fighting the evil queen. And then at the ending, the climax is totally different. It doesn't just end with the evil queen getting lightning struck off a cliff. I think it's really funny and part of what I like about the old one. But in this one, Snow White kind of talks down the villagers and the people and deposes the queen. And then they live happily ever after, which I don't think they actually say at the end of the book, end of the movie. But yeah. So because this is a musical, let's talk about the musical portions of it. I know, Amy, you have some strong thoughts about the musical numbers.
I thought some of them were great, and by some of them, I mean the older songs that they put in the new one, because we already know they're good songs. They got rid of Someday My Prince Will Come, which I thought was a little strange. I mean, I guess because of the way they went with her character, that was a little bit different. That song wouldn't have fit, but the romance to me already kind of felt a little out of place. So I think maybe a song like that might have helped, because they were willing to change the lyrics to make them match in the other songs. I don't know why they couldn't have done that.
Yeah, the romance is kind of flat. I think Rachel Zegler is giving a lot more than the actor for Jonathan was. They have two songs together. They have Princess Problems, and they have a song once like an emotional climax has been reached that I don't remember the name of, because I don't remember the chorus of it, because it wasn't that interesting. Do you remember the name of that song or the chorus?
I remember thinking that it was exactly like the song from Tangled that they sing on the boat, At Last I See the Light, and thinking that I would rather be listening to that, and it kind of took me out of the movie. And if you've made a movie where I would rather be watching a different movie you made, the song's not that memorable.
Yeah, I more or less agree with you in that. Kind of on Tangled, you actually pointed this out while we were watching, but Jonathan, again, the prince in the film, he's just Flynn Rider. If you've ever seen Tangled, you know the character traits of Flynn Rider: brash, bravado, sure of himself, not really interested in this whole princess business. I just could have just described Jonathan as well. He kind of looks the same, kind of dresses the same. as Flynn Rider, so they just made it the same character again. It's not really the worst version, 'cause I think Zachary Levi has so much more charisma as Flynn Rider in that movie.
I mean, Dress is the same as, kind of. He's got that sort of like bandit look, but
Like that breeches.
I think there's a way to do the costumes in animation that make them look so much better than if you one-to-one translate them to live action. And I think that I know you liked the costumes, but for me, they just felt so jarring and so out of place. Specifically when Snow White moves, sometimes the like ruffles on her shoulders.
The shoulder ruffles.
Felt like really haphazardly put together. It was really strange. And also just the way that the Queen's outfits looked were very like, they picked a lot of colors that didn't make any sense.
A lot of like dark greens and purples and like black.
Her like stained glass crown was cool.
I actually thought that crown was kind of stupid.
It's
Like,
really funny.
She had the crown, and then she had like a full like face mask, like she was going in a pilot like a mech. You know, it's like you would put that on if you're in like Pacific Rim. You just like cover all your hair and your skin, and then the hat goes on. But like, I thought they gave the evil queen her own song, which is actually I kind of liked, at least lyrically, like the music of it. I thought it was fun. But like they gave her a big long flowing cape that I thought looked cool. I thought the idea of it was cool. You know, that cape, her singing, the direction in that scene is also kind of weird. There's a lot of like Dutch angles and just kept cutting to like different wides of the group.
It was edited really weird, and it had a lot of really weird angles and cuts that I thought didn't need to be there. Like, it didn't add anything, and it didn't feel experimental. It just sort of felt out of place, I guess, especially for like a fantasy film that was so lighthearted. It just felt a little strange.
I wonder how much of that editing was just the edit being like weird, or how much of it was just like the editor wasn't given anything to work with. So the director of this film is Mark Webb, best known for like 500 Days of Summer and the 2 Amazing Spider-Man movies, which are directed fine. But like this one, there's no like flair for musical. There's no like using the camera to like move through choreography. A lot of it is just like you're cutting to wides of people acting, and you're cutting to close-ups of our characters. And sometimes the characters like even covered by actors in the camera.
Yeah.
It looked weird and unintentional, and it took me out of it because I was like, I love musicals. I love musicals like West Side Story. It's one of my favorites for my mom, and there's so much thing where you can see the dynamism of their movement and their acting, and it uses the medium to its fullest, whereas this one doesn't.
There's an old adage that I'm not remembering who says it, but it's like, for musicals, if the emotion is too great for talking, sing, and if it's too great for singing, dance. And I think it's really good because it makes the songs feel necessary. And I think the original songs didn't do that here. Like, I just didn't feel like they were necessary. It felt like a lot of my problems with recent Disney songs is they felt put in to like be like Let It Go and to make Disney money.
Well, like, I would say Let It Go. Is Let It Go the I Want song of Frozen?
I think it's the I Got song of Frozen.
I Got song of Frozen. Yeah, they gave Snow White her own I Want song. And if you don't know what an I Want song is, it's a thing from like the Disney Renaissance where the character literally sings, "This is what I want." This is the thesis statement of the film. For like not Snow White. Little Mermaid is, I think, the most famous option. Is part of that world is the I Want song for Ariel. And that's great. That's short to the point. The I Want song here is just like, man, it sucks being a steward and working as essentially a slave for the evil queen. I wish something would happen. And it was kind of bad. I thought the reprise was okay, but the actual song itself, it was meh.
I think the fact that the lyrics were like, I wish something would happen, didn't feel conducive to her character arc, which is that everybody's talking about how much she like is the person making things happen, and they're following her because she's such a leader, and the song doesn't reflect that at all, and that took me out of it a little bit. It was a little distracting and made me not like the song as much. But I mean, other than that, it was fine. Like, it wasn't bad. It was just unmemorable and like off-putting.
Yeah, I agree. I think if I wasn't watching it in a movie theater, I would not have sat down to watch it. It's only an hour and like 54 minutes, including credits. So really, that's like an hour 30 with credits. And it like kept moving. It wasn't paced horribly. I was never bored by the actual movie. The scenes were boring, but the actual movie itself wasn't boring, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm talking about it. but I think if I wasn't in a theater, I wouldn't have stuck around to watch it.
I think if I wasn't in a theater, I would have turned it off.
Yeah.
Just because if I have the option to watch a different movie when I'm like by myself, I will. In a theater, I can't like do that. So I think if I had been watching it by myself, I would have turned it off and watched a different Disney movie.
Yeah. I think there's something in the theater of just like being there and like hearing the like when they played the Dwarf song, Hey Ho, I was like, oh, I like this song. I like how it sounds. I like the singing. I like the sounds. And that was fun. I enjoyed that scene. I like the Whistle While You Work they did for this. So I liked it in the movie theater aspect, but I think if I was watching it on my laptop, even on TV, I would just be like, man, I could go watch any other Disney musical. I could watch like Aladdin, which I love, or anything, something like that. Yeah, all right. I think, is there anything else you want to say about the movie? Are we good to go on to our reviews?
Can't think of anything else.
Yeah, it's kind of boring, and that's, I think, the biggest cardinal sin. So now, before we get into our reviews, let me explain kind of how they work. It's not complicated, but there's a little variation on the star rating system. So instead of doing out of 5, we're doing it out of 3 because, frankly, I think a lot of people don't know what to do with a 5-star rating system. They just kind of give it a 4 or 5 stars and leave it at that, which is fine. But then the review loses all potency. So we're doing a simple 1 to 3 star rating system. 1 star, bad. 2 star, it's fine. 3 stars, it's great, it's good, perfect. There's no half stars, none of that. It's a 1, 2, 3, simple to go. So yeah, now Amy, how would you rate Mark Webb's Snow White out of 3 stars?
Probably 1 star. It was unmemorable. It wasn't good, but it wasn't like offensively bad. And to me, that's worse than being offensively bad because that would make it at least more entertaining. I don't think I'm ever gonna touch this again.
Yeah, I'm also gonna give it 1 star. There's nothing for me there. I have no reason to watch it. If it's on TV, I'm not gonna like turn it off because I can listen to like Rachel Zegler have some great singing, but it's also 1 star. It's not great. You don't need to see it. Yeah, there's better stuff you can spend your money on in theaters right now. Yeah.
Now that we have done our review for Snow White, we transition into our next segment, news. Here we will cover the most exciting, interesting, and hopefully relevant news stories in the film and entertainment industry. Up first, Donovan will tell us about some news from California.
So yes, so Hollywood may be getting some much needed revitalization from the California state government with the introduction of Senate Bill 630. So alongside Governor Gavin Newsom's own plans to revitalize film in the state, this Senate bill plans to revamp and expand the film and television tax credit in the Golden State. So the revitalization program would not only expand what can qualify for the tax credit program to include stuff like series and animated films, but would also increase the available credit to projects actually shooting in the Los Angeles area. So this comes after Hollywood has really faced a lot of slowdowns and hard times since both the pandemic just completely shut stuff down, as well as 2023's WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes, which completely shut stuff down for the summer.
California is not the only state facing down the future of film within its borders, as Utah braces for the possibility of Sundance International Film Festival leaving Park City and Salt Lake. This decision hinges on Utah Governor Spencer Cox signing or vetoing a House bill to ban pride flags on all public buildings. The fate of Sundance in Utah rests on this decision, as a dozen other cities have put up bids to host the world's most renowned film festival. Cincinnati, Ohio, and Boulder, Colorado are the 2 frontrunners currently, according to people in the festival. The bill is expected to be reviewed today in the Utah State Legislature, with a decision to follow from Sundance soon.
So while Sundance hangs in the balance, the industry prepares itself for the upcoming CinemaCon, which is set to begin in the next 3 days. From March 31st to April 3rd, the largest gathering of cinema owners and Hollywood studios gather in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Caesars Palace to show off the latest in entertainment technology, but also for the studios to show off the next slate of films. So the biggest names presenting will be Sony Pictures, which is returning after they skipped last year's event, but also for the first time, Amazon MGM will be presenting, and they're making their debut of the next slate of films at this convention.
Amazon MGM's appearance at CinemaCon is not their only big move in recent weeks. After recently securing full production rights to the James Bond franchise from the Broccoli family, the studio has brought in Amy Pascal and David Heyman to produce their Bond films. Pascal is best known for her producing of the Marvel Spider-Man films, as well as Oscar nominee Little Women and The Post. David Heyman was the key producer behind all 8 Harry Potter films and the 3 spin-off Fantastic Beasts films. It seems Amazon MGM wants to place the future of 007 in the hands familiar with leading these touchstone franchise films. Before we wrap up, we here at Weekend at Movies want to spotlight some upcoming films in the next month to keep you on your radar. Out tomorrow, March 28th, is the new horror film from Joan Cosella, The Women in the Yard, alongside the newest Jason Statham picture, A Working Man.
So next week is April, and that is set to be quite a month for theaters. Firstly, on the 2nd is a film taking advantage of public domain, Screamboat, which puts kind of a horror spin on Steamboat Willie. Then, on the 4th of April, is a Minecraft movie. Specifically, a Minecraft movie. Not the Minecraft movie, it's a Minecraft movie, because I guess they're probably planning for when this movie makes $100 million in its first day. I'd call it my shot, but it's gonna make a lot of money in a lot of people's opinion. But yes, a Minecraft movie starring Jack Black and Jason Momoa is out April 4th. And I didn't know this, but did you know that Minecraft movie is directed by Jared Hess, the guy who did Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre?
So crazy.
I don't know, I didn't know that, but good for him, at least he's working. So that appears alongside Pedro Pascal-led action comedy Freaky Tales, also on the 4th. Regardless of your tastes, there's something for everyone in the coming weeks. Check your local theaters for listings and prices.
And with that, the first episode of Weekend at Movies comes to a close. We hope it's been as fun to watch as it was to make.
Fun, stressful, it's really all the same. I'm joking. This has been a blast to make. I want to thank you, Amy, for agreeing to be my co-host. I've really enjoyed getting to talk about movies with you. I want to thank people behind the camera for making this run, the crew, the crew for making this actually work. And I want to thank Town Meeting TV for giving us this wonderful space to shoot it. Anything else you want to say before we sign off, Amy?
Please go see movies in the theater. I saw the theater we went to was empty, as well as every other movie I've been to for the past 2 months.
Yeah, theaters are great. It's the best way to see a movie. Even if you see a bad movie, it can make it enjoyable. Like I enjoyed going out last night and seeing the movie. But yeah, go see movies in theaters, guys. And I think with that, I hope you all out there have a good weekend at the movies.